This one, Sean. But Sean, is it like this or is it like this? See, that's the question you have to ask people. Do you do it like this or do y'all do it like this? Listen, I'm telling you, you want this perfume. It is so correct. It is so correct. It is, again, this is not a classic fragrance by any means. And a floral is classic, but this is powdery violet, right? It's not regular. If you like for your fragrance to precede you, and I do, anyone will ask you, Morgan will ask you, anyone that's ever worked with me will say, like, I put on a lot of perfume, but I like it that way. You know what I mean? We work in the bar and some people don't like it. You know, I've told you about Chad. Chad Michaels is always like, oh, Jesus Christ, I'm going to choke to death from your perfume. Well, guess what? Choke on it, bitch. Because I smell fucking good. And I love it. I love it. But this one, I'm telling you, this smells like no other. And this is not going to confuse anyone. You have to be a certain personality for this fragrance. And it could be in you. If you're trying to buy, if somebody goes, oh, I'm new to fragrance and I'd like a flowery fragrance, I think, don't buy them this one. Not first. You know, first you want to buy them like Chanel No. 5. You want to buy them something that's maybe a powdery light floral. That would be nice. But I would say this is for somebody who knows. You know what I mean? They know and they love putting a lot of perfume on, because you don't need much of this. Doesn't mean I'm not going to put a ton on, but you don't need much of it. Yeah, Mayhem Violet, Parma Violet is inside this. Jasmine in the heart, Rose in the heart too, but Parma Violet is fighting for the top recognition and the base recognition of this fragrance. Do I wear perfume in drag or do I also wear cologne? Mostly perfume, mostly fragrances that are geared for the quote, for a feminine profile. So normally that's what I wear. I have worn others. I've worn like Jo Malone fragrances, of course, that are geared for really, anyone. No, Cray Cray, not in this fragrance. Not in this fragrance. This fragrance is called Flower by Kenzo. And you can see like the flowers drawn on in there. And so is the what looks like the stem there, but it's, yeah. Shut up, Mayhem, you stupid ass. But it's groove in the heart. Ariana Grande Cloud. Is that one of her fragrances? That sounds nice. That's a Thank you. Thank you. That's sweet of you, Staunch. I've never had a Demeter fragrance. That is true, Chiquas. That is true. I know. And yeah, I kind of thought that too at first, because the way it actually looks like it down the middle, but fuck. Shut your ass. Allie. Thank you, Venice. Is that the company? Venice, Executive Suite, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Come check us out. I know you were there recently. there's a full range of performers. There'll be 5 performers Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. I know Saturday night is already sold out. I believe that the other 2 are very, very close. So please get your reservation, and we would love to see you again. I love that. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Miguel. Love it. Thank you. Hi. Hi, sis. Hi, sis. How do we decide to what we're going to talk about during the podcast? Honestly, there is a bit of an outline, but you know, real talk from like the network, which is for Moguls of Media, Mom is what produces the podcast in conjunction with Forever Dog, which is a podcasting company. And the note from the network is turn on the record button and start talking for an hour. And that's what we do. That's honestly what we do. Again, there are some like bullet points, like we have segments, because when we record it, we have to we record it all the way through, but we have to do this sort of like, in between. So we go, this is the segment where we're going to chit chat. This is the segment where we're going to see something. This is the segment where we're going to, so we know how long we have, and we try to keep it within there so that the editing process doesn't really, we don't want them to have to cut out a lot. So we just keep our eye on the timer. Yeah. Tell you about the necklace. Just a necklace, just a piece, just a piece of art that chose to wear. I wish I had a story about it. It was a gift from a gift giver, an art from an artisan. Thank you, B. Would I ever do All Stars? No, it's All Stars is not in the stars for me, but I will definitely be a fan of All Stars. I can't wait to watch the next season, because I love watching All Stars, because I pretty much not always know all the contestants, but for the most part, at least some of the people I know are on. So it's exciting, because in that sense, I'll in my mind kind of have a pony in the race, if that makes any sense. So someone I'm looking out for, like, oh, I really want this person to do well, or not that I don't want them all to do well, but Thank you, Camp. Thank you, Dimitri. Morgan. Allie, can we get a screen grab, Allie? Allie's good at this. Honey, Rosette, honey. Morgan, I know it's just like a autocorrect. Rosette, honey. Thank you, Amy. Oh, Morgan, Ethel texted me, and she sent me a picture, and she said, honey, 1 2 1 2. Do you remember 1 2 1 2? Yes. 1 2 1 2. Oh my gosh, Ernesto, stop. Michelle, were you in here when I was talking about this? Michelle Blair is MSE_B82. Michelle, like sent me this package when I tell you of fragrances with notes on all of them. And I've slowly but surely been, sharing them with everyone. Not sharing them like, physically. They're all mine. They all belong to me. But talking about them, And Michelle, I wanted to talk about this one tonight, which is, oh my God, Michelle, it is just, and you remember I said Michelle was here with the live when I was talking about the 99-cent store one and was like, all right, I'm going to buy it. She was just like, I'm going to buy this bitch, the real one. Cause she's just that girl. She's not that girl. She's that bitch. I always say some people you're like, are you that girl or are you that bitch? Cause there's a difference between that girl and that bitch. Do you know what I'm saying? Think about that. Some people you're like, oh no, she's that girl. But then other people you're like, oh no, she's that bitch. There's totally a difference. In any event, Michelle, pretty much everybody in here that comes all the time, we are all kind of that bitch. We're not really those girls. We're like that bitch. If we were those girls, there would be 400 people in this room. There's 53 people in this room right now. And you know why? Because we're those bitches. That's why. All of us. All 53 of us. All 50. As I'm saying this, the number's dropping because some of those girls know when they're leaving. So fuck them. But in any event, Michelle, it's just the perfume. It's so violet. And I remember thinking when I smelled the dupe from 99-cent store, oh, it's really great. I know the other one is going to be sick. It's sick. It's sick. Yeah. Hi, Gary. Hi, Gary. Gary is in here. Gary's my friend all the way back from college. I'm talking 1995. And I love this song. May. I can't do that too much because then we'll get kicked off. I'm not trying to do all that. I wish, but I can't because it'll just get kicked off. They get so mad. Oh, perfume is so good. Parma Violet. Parma fucking Violet. Hi, Fabi. Akiko is here. Hi, Akiko. The devil wears nada. You know what? I don't think I have any Margiela fragrances. Hi, Erin. Can't do too much because then we'll get fucking kicked out. My favorite fruit scent on a perfume. Well, I love when pineapple is infused quite a bit, and I really, really love peach a lot. Not necessarily that it has to smell like a peach, but I like what peach does to other things in a fragrance, especially if it's in the top note. I like the invitation of that. A fragrance that I wear a lot that I always buy a bottle of is Mackie by Bob Mackie. It's not expensive anymore because it's probably on its way out. It's extremely potent, but it opens with a lot of peach, a lot of raspberry. It's laying on a base of a lot of spice. again, it's one of those ones that is not terminology that we particularly. A lot of people, we shouldn't be using this terminology to describe people, but in fragrance and in objects, the term Oriental is still used, and at least for the companies, and so they would call it an Oriental or a Floriental, an Oriental floral fragrance, but I don't know. That's not. I think there's other ways around calling something like that. May, you got kicked out. Thank you, Sparkle Glitter. But yeah, Mackie is one I wear a lot. And again, very strong. Most of the fragrances that I particularly wear a lot and really, really love wearing, I kind of wonder if it's a psychological thing a little bit. Because I can remember when I first worked at Robinson's May, which was a department store in the 90s, I remember the first thing, like the first sort of expensive thing I bought with my discount and my Robinson's May card, because you got a card, when you worked at the department store, was a bottle of Coco Chanel. And to this day, the only other person I know that I'm friends with that does drag that wears Coco Chanel all the time is in fact Chanel from season 1 of Drag Race. But we've been friends, 25 years. And we both really love Chanel. Well, Chanel worked at Chanel, the Chanel counter. But we both love it, and I love many Chanel fragrances, but Coco Chanel. So I can remember buying that. But many of the fragrances that I love are very 90s. We're talking about, again, Mackie by Bob Mackie, Coco Chanel, Knowing by Knowing by Estee Lauder, Oud, we're talking just so many of them. Yes, Peter, please send me a message. How is the fragrance scent determined as to what note is heavier than the other? Well, the hierarchy is basically, if you would imagine sort of a pyramid, right? The invitational notes are here at the top. The middle notes are here, and then that wide base at the bottom is the base note. So the base note would be everything, if you imagine it kind of like a house, right? The foundation is always going to be there. If you knock walls down, if you take paintings off the wall and you take the furniture out, the base is still going to be there. So you can move it around, but you'd have to start breaking down the structure. So the basic structure of, for instance, this perfume that I'm talking about today, the majority of the base is musk, is incense, is vanilla. So that's the oh, you did send a message. Okay, you could be in the request thing. I was talking earlier about how fucking fucked the whole thing is, but I'm going to send you a message because it's a mess. Those are the three, right? Those are the three that are in this. The next level up would be the heart, meaning what is connecting everything. So if you imagine, again, in a house, the heart would be some of the more expensive things that are not necessarily the structure. So your sofa, your television, maybe a Davenport, maybe a hutch, those things, that's the heart. And then the invitational notes or the top notes would be the pictures on the wall, a vase, those kind of toss pillows, things that could be very well changed out. Now, you would say people might say, well, a piece of artwork could be very expensive. That would be, again, something in the top note that is one of the expensive top notes that's going to last a little bit longer. So it's kind of interesting. Jovan Musk. There is a time and place for Jovan Musk. Absolutely love Jovan Musk. Oh, yes. McLean, Fred Hayman, gorgeous perfumes. I do remember Most Frequently Delicious, but Fred Hayman had gorgeous perfumes. A good fragrance with pineapple in it that I would suggest, of all the fragrances that I wear, the one that I can think of that has a lot of pineapple in it would be the Mackie, definitely. But look into a Juicy, the original Juicy Couture. There's a couple of Juicy fragrances that do. Also, J-Lo, J-Lo Luxe, which is very affordable, has pineapple. I think it's Luxe. Or is it Love? No, Sofia Vergara has a perfume named Love. I'm thinking. I love now. See, Greta asks like a half hutch. Yes, staunch. A Davenport is just, you put pies out on, and then you can underneath would have like you can put dishes or things like that. What was the question? Was it Tresor by Lancome? I love Tresor, and a lot of times people will ask, what would be a great fragrance to give somebody if you don't know necessarily what fragrance they wear, or you're introducing them to fragrance. I would absolutely suggest Tresor. It's very, and I mean no disrespect in this, because I absolutely love it, and I have a bottle of Tresor, and I always have had purchased bottles of it. It's a safe fragrance. It is a very middle of the road where you could wear it in an office, you could wear it out, you could wear it to meet people for the first time. You could wear it as your signature fragrance. You could put a lot of it on and definitely layer it and be recognizable. It is, it's almost a classic. And I'm going to pull out another fragrance in the next couple of lives and talk about a type of fragrance that I haven't talked about before. And Tresor is one of this type of fragrance. So I'm going to remember it. It's a word that's used to describe a type of fragrance that some people find a little bit of offense, take offense to, and some people don't. And to be honest with you, there is a division line when it comes to fragrance between, quote, American-made fragrances and French fragrances. And there's a line in the sand when it comes to like people in the fragrance community, specifically geographically, who frown upon the idea of American-made fragrances as inferior to French-made fragrances, because the French have a very specific approach to perfume making. So it's interesting. I have not tried Carolina Herrera Good Girl. I would love that. I would love to try that. I should probably look into that. No, not Woman of Steel. I can't remember the name of the color. I think it was one of the limited editions where she did 10 of each, and I got in on it, and it was specifically for a Devil Wears Prada thing. Gross. Full date. Yeah, it's a good brush. You're right. It is a good brush. I mean, she looks a little funky because I've been rubbing her all over my mouth, but you get it. Why am I looking at it this way? And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't mind showing you because I know it's gross. This is how smashed my lipstick is. Like, it's gorgeous color. I love this color. I wear this color all the time. Whatever. Everybody's like, some people only apply their lipstick with a brush, and that's lovely. And some people do it right. Do I wear shoes when I do this? I don't even wear underwear when I do this. I actually cut the clothes So I buy my clothes and then I just cut them from here down. I just cut them off and I just sit here like that. I actually am on the toilet as well. Um, that way I can, you know. But anyway, I don't mind showing you how smashed that lipstick is, but I get my use out of it. But my cousin, it's interesting. You can tell, like, you can kind of tell in a family, like, whose lipstick is who based on how they wear it down. So like anyway, mine is like flat like that. But my cousin, hers, it's weird because like, you know, the bullet will come up like this kind of, right? And so it'll slant like this. Hers gets like all hollow right here and it like curves over. Like it's weird. Yes. By the way, I have 2 cameos to do tonight. I'm doing 2 cameos. Shut up, Psychedella.